Hi, welcome to the creative meditation class. It is an extra class. So this is directly to you, made for you. And I love to join with you in this moment because this is an opportunity to receive a gift in this present moment. So during this meditation, we will relax deeply into ourselves. So going within, not looking for it outside anymore. Taking time to deeply relax. And that is my invitation to you right now. So maybe you can start with some deep breaths and maybe release some, loosen your shoulders or anything like that. Just to completely relax into this present moment with me. So in the creative meditation class, we use the book Rising in Consciousness of Joel. And the third chapter is practicing the presence. And see, that's exactly what we're doing right now. Practicing the presence is then letting go of what you think is of your concern, or what you think you identify with, or what you think is connected to time. All of that we don't need in this present moment. So it's a lot of things that we don't have to do. And that's why it feels so good too, if you allow that to occur to you. So you relax deeply into yourself, forgetting about everything that you needed to do just for half an hour or just for the time you take for it. And see, you come into a certain rhythm with yourself. It's like, oh yeah, that already feels a lot better. So happy that I don't need to do anything right now. I'm just relaxing into myself, taking time to really be constructive, with myself, being really giving attention to what is really important to me. So, and if there are thoughts coming up, you just let them be. You don't do anything with them. You can just take a look at them and it's like, oh, okay, there goes that thought. Oh, God, I'm so happy I don't need to do anything with it. Isn't that fantastic? And I start to feel some emotion coming up. Oh, okay, well, that's okay. It's allowed to be here. And I will relax into what I feel instead of doing something with it, connecting it to stories, people, or events, or whatever. It's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's just something that comes up right now because you're actually quieting down. In the meantime, you just stay with your practice of breathing. It's like, you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out through your mouth. And actually you discovered like, oh, this is not even air that I'm breathing. I'm actually breathing light in. It's like I'm starting to communicate. Something really shifted now. It's like, oh, that feels a lot better. It feels more spacious and more connected already. So there's a possibility that you enter into stillness, that your mind becomes more quiet and moving itself more to the background instead of being right in front of your face like you probably experienced today too. So this practicing the presence that Jill teaches, I have nothing to add to that, but I love some things that I would love to share with you. I love some things that he's sharing. One of them is this, that nothing happens to you without your own consent. And that's pretty remarkable that he shares that thought with us. And that's like, nothing comes to me, nothing happens to me without my own consent. So he even goes as far as, I'm not, as a human being, you don't even die without your own consent. One way or another, you are going to confirm that your time is up, that you're ready to go. And so that is the example that he uses to explain this. And I love that. It's like, nothing comes to me without my own consent. So there's no one to blame for what is happening. No, I take responsibility for what's going on. And okay, well, relax back into your silence. So you whatever comes to you, whatever is being stirred up by me sharing something, just allow that to come up, and don't resist it and don't fight it or whatever. Just, this is your time. I'm not doing anything to you either. It's like, oh yeah, this is your own you, coming in touch with yourself. And I love that. So I will be reading something just for a moment. And I'm very curious what Joel has to say in this specific chapter. So there's a lot of comparison between the practitioner and the patient in this chapter. I will not go deeply into that, but something I would love to share. Within a day, a week, or a month, or a year, can be doing the same healing work that is being done by the finest practitioner in the metaphysical world. It is a very simple thing. It comes as a result of knowing two things. So that's quite interesting. So what are these things? I want to know. The first, that I am the very presence of God. I need no other law to act on me for good. I am the embodiment of all the law of good that God ever gave to individual being. So that is an important one. I am the very presence of God. So that means, like, the law of God is the only law that has an importance to me. See, and that in itself is a great idea. It is just becoming more complicated to accept it, maybe, when you realize that all the other laws that you believe in are not giving you anything that will lead to good, like Joel says it here. It doesn't bring you anything. So all the laws that you subscribe to in terms of the worldly laws, the laws of money, justice, the law of this and that, like all of that is not going to bring you any happiness. So the only law that's actually at work, no matter what the situation is the law of God. And that is the only one that you're going to be focusing on. So that's, he says, he compares it to the practitioner. Like, the practitioner is accepting this for himself. That is the only law at work through me, in me, you know. And it has the capacity to heal because it literally is bringing you in the complete and perfect moment that is now. Okay, so he has the second idea. And the second part of it is, all there is in the way of evil, so-called, all the things of evil, is not a reality. It is an appearance or suggestion. And all I have to do is recognize it as an appearance and let it go. So that is what Joel always says, like, okay, this is hypnotism. It's like, whatever evil I see or hear or think or encounter is not a reality. So, and then I'm going back to this idea of like two rails, like the rails as two bars. One is the world, one is heaven, the kingdom of heaven, and they will never meet. You know, there's no place where they come together. It's like one of the participants last time said, like, this was an example of Joel. Like, the two rails will never come together. It looks like it, and we're looking for all kinds of connections between the world of evil or sin or disease and your spirituality. You look for connections between the two, and you will never find them. So that means here is something given that's totally helpful for you to realize where you want to put your focus and where you want to come in touch with, and that is the direct experience of you as a former human being awakening into the reality of who you really are. that is your focus. That is exactly what's being offered here. So these are the two things that are going to be of great help. One is there's only one law, it's the law of God, of perfection, of wholeness. The other thing is an appearance. It has no reality. None of it is real. None of it is real. It has nothing to do with God. It is not of God's making. So it does not exist. So and that makes it easier to accept that. So thank you for bearing with me and listening to this and letting this affect you. And you're actually hearing it, what I says. That's really great. That's really great. So this is going to help us in our meditation too. So during the meditation, I will come up with certain sentences that you can find in this chapter, practicing the presence of the book, Rising in Consciousness. You will be able to let these completely affect you. And thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. And I will be quiet now too and come into meditation with you. So every, say, couple of minutes or 5 minutes, I will share with you one of the deep whole ideas, the living principles that Joel was sharing with us. Thank you so much for joining. You exist as the very presence of God. All that is real of me is the Christ. I live, yet not I. The Christ liveth in me. You exist as the very presence of God. Thank you, Father. Thank you.